104, and today it's Safari Day here at school, here at Case. So we rocking the cheetah on cheetah, and we're getting closer to the holiday season, which I like the holidays. So we are going to spend some time today working on some square roots and cube roots because the OG Hansonator have requested it, and I give my people what they want. So if you need something, you want something, comment down below. Let me know what I can do for you. Alright, so shout out my Hansonators and shout out French fries, because I never had a French fry do me wrong. But let's make this quick and to the point. So square roots, cube roots, they're confusing because they're different. And you know, this is the sign, this is the radical sign. Rock on, right? Radical. And all this tells you is it says you know, take the number that's inside and ask yourself what number multiplied by itself will make that number. Well, the square root of 9 would equal 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. So it's saying what the number that's under the radical sign, what can you multiply by itself to get that number? Now, sometimes you don't have perfect squares and that gets a little messier, but let's run through some square roots. So square root of 25. What times what makes 25? 5. Square root of 36. 6 times 6. So it's 6. Now here's something that you do need to know is, what if you had a negative 36? Can you pull out a negative 6? Well, ask yourself this. What's negative 6 times negative 6? Is it negative 36? No, it's 36. So you cannot take, currently, you cannot take the square root of negative 36, because you would end up with an imaginary number, and we don't know that. We only mess with real numbers right now. So you would just say this is not a real number, just like you don't have a real boyfriend or girlfriend. I won't tell nobody. You can have negative signs outside of the radical sign. So you could have like a negative 16, and what's the square root of 16? Well, 4 times 4 makes that, so this would be a negative 4. Square roots, love them. Love them, love them. Smooth, smooth. So now we got cubic roots. That was also requested. You know, you have a cubic root because of this sign, and this tells you what number times itself 3 times gets you the number inside. So you could do the square root of 27. So what times what makes 27? Well, 3 times 3 times 3, because you get 9, you get times 3, you get 27. Look at that. The cubic root of 27 is 3. It would be 3. You could get the cube root of 81, which would be, wait, no, yeah. Am I tripping right now? I think I'm tripping right now. It's not 81. Let's forget that. I'm pretty sure there is one, but my brain just like stopped working. Cube root of 64. What times what makes 64? Well, 4 times 4 is 16, and then times 4 would be 64. So the cubic root of 64 is 4. Now the cool thing, guys, about cubic roots is that you can have negatives, because it's different than the square root. So you could say, what is the cubic root of 343? Negative 343. Well, you break it out, because you'd have, so I'm going to underline these, the numbers that we're going to put in. Negative something times negative something times negative something, negative times negative times negative, does come out negative. Negative times a negative makes a positive when they're even. So if you have 2, 4, 6, 8, any number of those negatives being multiplied, positive. But if they're odd, you get a negative. So what times what makes 343? Well, let's think. If we did 5 times 5 times 5, that'd be 125. That's getting there, but that's not quite there. If we did 10 times 10 times 10, that's 1,000. That's way too high. So what if we did 7? So 7 times 7 equals 49, and times 7, big brain math, 7 times 50 is 350. We take away 7, that's 343. So negative 7 times negative 7 times negative 7 equals negative 343. So the cubic root of negative 343 is negative 7. So negative 7 does in fact work. So the only other thing I want to show you guys real quick is how to add and subtract square roots, because I know a lot of you guys are doing your Alex topics. You're trying to get some presents under your tree by doing what you got to do. So you could end up with something like this. You could have 2 times the square root of 3 plus the square root of 3. And what you do is you combine like terms. So you look for integers. So there's a 2. There's also a 1 right here. And you combine those. And then you combine, you just put together the square roots, but you don't add them. So what you're going to do is you're going to get 2 plus 1, which is 3, times the square root of 3. Done. And then, if we had another example, we could have 9 times the square root of 5 minus 4 times the square root of 5. You would do the same thing. So you'd have 9 minus 4, which is 5, and then the square root of 5 just comes along for the ride. The only time that you mess with the radicals is when you're multiplying, and we're not going to do that yet because I don't want to trip y'all up. So let's just leave it off with one more. Now you got to make sure that these are prime numbers under here, because if they're not prime numbers, you can go ahead and take the square root and pull out the perfect square. So let's do 7 times the square root of 5 plus 6 times the square root of 7. Now, if you go like this, you're wrong. It's not right. You do not combine these because they are not the same. They are different. They are not the same. So this would just be what it is from the jump. It would be 7 times the square root of 5 plus 6 times the square root of 7. So guys, that's a wrap. Quick, easy notes on square roots, cube roots, adding and subtracting. Go get them Alex topics on. I know there's at least 3 that have this in there. Thanks for watching. Happy Safari Day. What's your favorite animal? Comment down below. King Cobra, Snow Leopard.